Hey everybody, happy Sunday. We are in Daytona International Speedway. We're here for an awesome new tour. Let's go check it out. Yep, that all looks pretty secure to me. Daytona International Speedway. We are coming to say hello. You are looking awesome these days. Hey everybody, we're at Daytona International Speedway. It is Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody. We're going to see if we can get on a racetrack tour. You can buy used tires from Daytona, $5 a piece. The money goes to Victory Junction, one of my favorite charities actually. And if you're a hardcore fan, you have tires and you bring them to get signed when the drivers are doing signings. While we wait for the tour to start, we're in the gift shop.
See, this is nice if it didn't have that stuff on the back.
You can get this Dale Senior shirt. It's very sparkly. These items go to charity. The proceeds, at least. They have a mug that looks like stacked tires, but it's ceramic. Or how about this growler? You get Stay Cool towels with your driver's number and name on it. Or like folding chairs, you get a folding table. Again, driver's numbers on it. If anyone's ever wondering, we are a Jimmy household. Yeah, too tight. Get some regulation-sized helmets. Welcome. We're the first people here for the 2 o'clock tour. 20 minutes early.
You got to go all the way around
and away we go.
Speedway. There's some of them to come down. Invited them down here. Said, you know, we got people that will pay you cash to just outrun each other out on the beach. So they started running on the old beach course in Ormond Beach. They would drive down A1A, or I should say race down A1A. Then they'd go through the dune, come back up the beach, then back through the dune, then south on A1A again. In 1948, they moved to Ponce Inlet.
I'm Daytona 500 champion Jeff Gordon. I'm pleased to welcome all of you to Daytona International Speedway, the world's first motorsports stadium. Nearly 60 years ago, the small-town auto mechanic named Bill France Sr. dreamed of creating a racetrack that was bigger, faster, and more exciting than any before it.
Side by side with room to spare. Now you also may notice as we come down through here that the roadway is kind of wet. That's because it's 4 feet below the water table here at Daytona Beach. Now that was designed into the construction of the tunnel. It constantly leaks like this. Water runs over to the driver's side gutter down to this end of the tunnel where it goes into a drain, and then a sump pump pushes it up that blue plumbing right here at the end of the tunnel. Now as we come out of the tunnel in front of the truck and on the driver's side, you're going to see a blue guardrail that is going around the west horseshoe turn or west end of that infield road course we've got here. That's a little over a mile long, and the Rolex drivers and the SCCA sports cars do that entire piece of track and the big oval. So they turn a lap a little over 3.5 miles long. Named after J. Saxton Lloyd, longtime friend of Big Bill France. He owned a car dealership downtown, sold Buicks and Cadillacs. And when Big Bill first came to town in the 30s, he worked for Sachs down there at the dealership for a small time, and they became lifelong friends at that point. Now, Sachs was very involved in securing this property for the Speedway. He was a member of the Recreation Board of Volusia County. It's actually banked at about 3 degrees. Doesn't have anything to do with the race cars as much as drainage. Just makes the rainwater run off the Speedway. Now, we are right in the middle of the Turn 2 skid pad. 2010, we repaved the track for the first time since its construction. Spent $20 million, and along the way, we added the Turn 2 skid pad and the Turn 4 skid pad that we're going to see in a couple of minutes here. Now, we're going to come out here towards the racing surface, and I'm going to show you the overtime line. Those of you that are really following racing, now you can see them. Now, if you look right outside the racetrack here, you see that big Sunoco sign up there. And if you look real close, as we go by, you'll see there's a couple of chairs between the halves of that sign. There'll be 2 NASCAR spotters up there during the race, keeping an eye on the track for debris, fluid, anything they feel would hamper the safe operation of the race cars. Now, this dark spot here that looks very much like a patch in the racetrack is a patch in the racetrack. About 7 years ago, Juan Pablo Montoya crashed into a jet dryer and set the racetrack on fire. And now you guys have seen exactly where that happened. Energy reduction.
Check out the banking here.
Now, what you see first,
It is ridiculous. I don't even think you can walk up there.
Things in it is about 9 miles of hollow 8-inch steel tubing that we put around the racetrack. Behind that is that big concrete retaining wall or immovable object. And in between the two, you can see the tops of those foam columns that separate them. 44 altogether. This building's got numbers 1 to 24 in them. And then, of course, the other building's 25 to 44. Driver's side. Just wanted to point them out to you so you'll know what.
They don't want the race cars always on the track, on the grass.
Now, we've been on the grass here before for concerts, before the Daytona 500. That's pretty awesome. And usually when the shows end before the event, they would let you go up and into the stands, or you would go back out.
Yeah. A little ladder and they let you jump up there.
Or now, I think they may have you go back through the infield and take a tram back through the way that we came. But here we are, start-finish line. We can't hear this guy talking right now, but rest assured, this is it.
Here's the start-finish line.
That's between bikes and garages.
Yeah.
Now we're going to stop here at the start-finish line. If you care to step out, you're welcome to do that.
And we get to go out and walk up the banking here. This is just 18-degree banking, but you can see how difficult this is to even walk up. There you go. There's Mary down there. I think she's afraid to walk up here. Keep this in mind when cars are coming over here, 2 and 3 wide. This is insane. It is not easy to get up. It's going to be even harder to get down.
Okay, now.
This is crazy.
Wait a minute here.
That's 101,500 seats that you're.
So if you come before the races, sometimes you can sign the start-finish line if you have the package to get inside. Look at Mary walking down. This is crazy. Yeah. Here we go. She's just as nervous. Oh boy.
Up on the speedway a little bit.
All right, let's do this.
Now, folks, this right here is about 8 degrees, maybe 10 when we first stepped up here. So I give you a little bit of a feeling of what that might be like up there on the 31-degree banking on the ends. Now I'm going to take you up here a little ways, show you the in and out or entrance and exit of the road course. Now the Rolex cars, when they come through here, they'll be steaming through here at about 200 miles an hour, the Rolex prototype cars. And they're going to go right exactly where I'm going. This is the entrance of the infield road course. It's basically a left-hand hairpin turn. Opens up, that's where you get into the race again. Now the exit is right up here. You'll see the turtles or rumble strip here. The temporary safer barriers across it, so kind of disguises it a little bit, but this is the exit. They're going to go in the back there. They do that 1.1 miles, and then they come back out here, and they're going to make a hard left turn. Again, when we get into the driver's meeting room, you're going to find out the story about that speed line. Now, those bleachers over there don't look like much right now because we've got the canopies and the tents down and so forth. But that's where the Sprint Cup drivers and owners get to watch the races right there. Pretty cool. And of course, you see the pit boxes, and in just a second, you're going to see how we cleverly got around having a pit box number 13. Big Bill was not happy with the number 13, so you won't find it on any of the buildings around here. Now we're going to pull into the Rolex chute. Now I'm going to take you into Gatorade Victory Lane.
Here we go.
We're in Victory Lane right now. What do you think of the tour so far?
I think it's awesome.
Check it out. When the winning car comes across the line after they celebrate a finish line, they come in here. This is where you always see everybody celebrating with their Gatorade. They do the hat swap. All that good stuff. And Mary's obsessed now with like looking at all the stuff behind the scenes.
Cool.
Coming soon, the Chevy Delivery Center. Buy a car, pick it up at the track.
As you see all the way to the passenger side, there is another tire garage and fueling station.
This is the Xfinity Series garages over on this end.
On the driver's side, you've got the enclosed garages. On the passenger side, the overflow garages. And you probably already noticed we've got the overflow garages full of emergency equipment. We use these overflow garages for storing all of our equipment, keep it out of the weather a little bit. I'm going to sneak up here a little closer to these doors so you can get a good idea to see just how uninteresting these garages are. It's basically one great big room with 45 garage doors on it. South America.
Going in the back of the Sprint fan zone. I think we're going to go to the media center next.
Holds up pretty well. Alrighty, if you'd step out on the driver's side, we're going to go through the double gray doors over there.
Finally, we get to go in the media center. We've only seen the media center from the outside when we normally collect autographs right outside that door in the fan zone. I like this. I like it.
For the Daytona 500, they're going to gather all the drivers up and be in here for a meeting. The reason for this meeting, much like an umpire going over ground rules before a baseball game, these drivers need to remember which racetrack they're at. They go to 24 different racetracks throughout the course of the year, and with the exception of this place and Talladega, they're all different sizes, shapes, different banking, different places for the emergency equipment to see. As you watch the video, you'll see what I'm talking about, the things they want to tell them about.
Imagine your job is to go out and win that race. Follow the instructions, watch the video, pay attention, enjoy your visit. More importantly, I hope you win the race.
Crew chiefs, please make sure you have the current crew chief handout and pit road penalty card with you for the race. Please make sure your spotters take notice where the fire trucks and emergency equipment are positioned to enter onto the racetrack. There are several places to safely escape the racetrack. When you have a problem, get off the track as soon as you can.
These are like my favorite years of racing.
The
when I was
race will
growing up.
not be restarted. Car's judgment.
This is so awesome.
You force someone below the yellow line.
This is really an amazing picture. So much going on here. Look at this picture of Bill Elliott. This does not seem like it was all that long ago to me. And yet the grandstand's so much smaller.
Now, as we go down through the tunnel this time, if you take a look at the bulkheads, they're covered with murals depicting, on the driver's side, historical events that took place during the running of the 500 over the years. And on the passenger side, they represent the various kinds of racing that we do here at the World Center of Racing. Right now, we're about 30 feet below the racetrack. The tunnel's 500 feet long and constructed of 90 of these concrete hoops going over our heads. Now, if you'll recall that audio that Jeff Gordon was talking about, that photo finish in 1959, the very last photo or mural on the driver's side is that photo finish. Now, you notice he only mentioned two drivers, Johnny Beauchamp and Lee Petty. That third car that was involved was Joe Weatherly. And the reason they don't talk about that is poor Joe had been lapped, so he was not in the hunt for the checkered flag.
These are solar farms that are actually working.
They will generate about, well, a little over 2 megawatts of power every sunny day. That's enough to supply about 1,000 normal-sized homes. Now, this path we're on is a walking path.
This next part of the tour is going to take us into the stadium section. So if you've seen our prior videos, you realize like when they were building this, it's all brand new. The stairs, the escalator, there's elevators. None of this was here before. It was very old looking. And for anyone that's been here over the years, you have to realize that this is much better than the old rickety steps that they had here.
And put seats down the side of it. We got rid of the grandstand and we built this stadium. There are 40 new escalators, 10 new elevators. If you've got that last seat up here, the best seat in the house is 154 feet off the ground. You only have to walk up 20 steps to get to it. Go to Darlington or Richmond and try that. You will climb from the ground all the way up. We have Wi-Fi throughout the building. We have 35 of these charging stations just to drag NASCAR into the 21st century. 11 fan entertainment neighborhoods. This is the Budweiser neighborhood. There's a Bud bar there and a Bud Light bar over here. This is about 2 football fields right here. The other 10 are at least as big as a football field. Now if you look up over your head, you see we got roofs. That's actually the 3rd floor, but you know what I mean. We now have a place with these 11 neighborhoods for 101,000 people to come in out of the rain. You can keep your party going. You know what I mean? Your entertainment.
Here's the start-finish line. This actually is the same distance of where the start-finish line is on the actual track here. And you can sign it if you come up here. Now look at this Budweiser bar area. I mean, if you were here in years prior, we've suffered through a lot of races in the rain. We had no roofs. You had nothing inside to do when it rained outside for hours.
There are no seats, no, I mean, there were like tables everywhere.
I mean, this is, you know, this is like Valhalla is here now.
Oh my God.
And again, I mean, you can get a ticket for the race, come in here, hang out at the bar under the roof, and watch everything from up here too, if you can get a space against the railing. You see, here's the start-finish line up here, and then it goes all the way down and on the track. Again, I cannot get over the table seating and the TVs and everything that goes on here for your experience. This is really awesome. This track has come a long way. When we moved to Florida, and I first went to Daytona to check out the track, and testing used to be free to be able to check out from the side, it's almost like going to the Super Bowl. But the Super Bowl's in your backyard every single year. If you've never been to a race and you're visiting Florida in July or in February for the 500, you cannot beat coming to a race here. It is unbelievable. Here is a big ass fan. Literally.
As they saw fit. Now Toyota was the first one that signed on, so they got pick of the litter, so to speak, and they picked this one because it had this extra big front yard here that they could put in the car lot and the hill climb back there.
Now we get to watch a movie that says title. It's been a while since we've been in here. This has actually been closed off for public, I think, for a while. We have not been through here in probably almost 10 years now. These guys are the same guys that they had back then. It's like Steven Spielberg's directing the race. More importantly, this is Denny Hamlin's car that won the Daytona 500 this year. All of this confetti is the actual confetti that fell on his car in Victory Lane. Everything is memorialized this way after the race and stays here until the Thursday before the next Daytona 500. Here's a picture of Denny Hamlin when he won. Here's his driver's suit and the shoes that he wore that day also. This is like what the inside of the helmets look like. It's been years since we've been in here. This is the Motorsports Hall of Fame. Rusty Wallace. And he had this secondary, like, sparkly color. Look inside the car. That's awesome. And here are the Hall of Fame plaques. Lee Petty.
Yeah, you got Richard Petty over here.
Richard Petty, if anyone even cares, that's my favorite driver of all time. Still has eluded me in meeting him at Daytona. He's been so close and so far away. And the most recent, Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin. Although I kind of feel like Mark Martin's still going to come out of like retirement and race. He just like never stops. So cool. Here's the Open Wheel Hall of Fame. You know, everybody knows Outlaw Sir and Michael Andretti. And Rick Mears, of course. Hey. This is the Wall of Winners. Everyone that's won any race here. Lakeland, Florida's own Joe Nemechek. Joe Nemechek. Coke Zero 400. We've gone multiple times. Not that I want to make fun of anything or point stuff out, but like all of these kind of look like they're in the same font. And then you get up to like Dale Earnhardt Jr. here. Like almost look like some Comic Sans. What's going on here? Historic racers. Harvey Firestone. More Wall of Winners. And you have motorcycles over here. It's not an Indian, but we'll take it.
It's a Hurley. Come on.
These display cases I don't remember inside here. Look at how old this helmet is. Richard Childress. Chip Ganassi. That's really cool. Dave McClellan. Ring Around the Sam Posey. Bob Swikert. Wow, we're really getting back there in years. I don't remember this room at all. If this is new. This here, Bob Russo Heritage Award. That is awesome. This is very wavy. They didn't flatten that out at all. Look at these old trophies. And the reflection of Mary's head. Footprints. There is another Walk of Fame outside that we'll show you when we leave. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a section inside of Daytona. Like a wall trip. Our best frenemy, Jeff Gordon. I'm not a fan, but we have met him before. And he actually is super nice. It's really hard to not like the guy. He is very accommodating to his fans and folks, and even on his last year of full-time racing. My favorite. If I ever like hit lottery, I would love to like have a replica of a full car restored like that. And this is pretty amazing. Mary just pointed this out. This is Air Force One. with Petty going around the track.
Because you know the airport is right next door to the track,
Yeah.
the Daytona airport.
Here it is. The man, the myth, the legend. We have more little sections here. Dale Jarrett, how could you not like Dale Jarrett? David Pearson, AJ Foyt. Kelly Yarbrough. Legends. Junior Johnson. Lee Petty. This is so cool. I love this little mock-up area. So this is a piece of the beach road course. This is what they raced on from 1936 to 1958.
The original Highway A1A.
Yeah, check it out. I touched it. I can now drive fast on I-4 going home. Look at that.
You would not recognize it nowadays at all.
Hard to believe. Look out for the rattlesnakes. Wow. In 1935, these cars get up to 276 miles an hour. That doesn't seem possible. Not only is statue super creepy, but look at her mouth. It's like, oh my god. This embankment is 31 degrees. That's pretty crazy. That about does it inside here. So we're gonna head out here in a minute, but I wanted to come out and show you guys. Here's this big statue of Dale Earnhardt Sr. And here is the Walk of Fame here. All of the Daytona 500 winners since 1996. The woman behind us is trying to sell us on like timeshare stuff and vacation packages. What a bummer that somebody started to crack. The man. The man again. Dale Jr. Alright, Daytona, we are out of here. That was a really fun tour. It lasted almost about 2 hours, including the Hall of Fame stuff. So they do have multiple level tours here, by the way. So they have a basic tour that runs, I think, $15. The tour that we were on cost $25. There's also a VIP tour. I'm not sure what the other add-on amenities are for that, but we didn't do that. For $25, I thought it was well worth the money. It's a very long tour, very informative. You get to do a lot of different things. And again, let me just say, I'm not sponsored by Daytona International. We just come out here a lot, especially during off-season when the races actually aren't even going on, so that you can see the behind-the-scenes stuff. It makes you appreciate the race even more. Mary, for all intents and purposes, not the hugest racing fan either. And this morning when I mentioned about coming out to the track, initial reaction was not really wanting to come, and now
I have to go food shopping and stuff, so I was gonna pick that first, and then I'm like, all right, let me go.
And now I think she ended up having a good time.
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, on the track, and I'm sitting there on the track, which is like, whoa.
So you don't need to be the world's biggest racing fan in order to come and appreciate everything.
Not at all.
Anyway, on that note, thank you for all of your likes, thank you for your comments, thank you for your subscriptions. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Have a great night. We'll see you guys.